Welcome to Asheville 365. Today we're doing another segment from Meet Your Neighbor series, and I will be going over some interview questions. And Morgan Shelton, she's with the Broad River Insurance Company, will be answering those questions. And of course, if you have any questions, please comment below and email Morgan or call, or whatever you guys want to do to get your questions answered. So, Morgan, please tell us a little bit about yourself, your background, and what inspired you to become the insurance agent.
Yeah, absolutely. So, my name is Morgan. I work for Broad River Insurance in Brevard in Western North Carolina, and I am a licensed health insurance agent and Medicare agent. What inspired me to become a health insurance agent was that I have a master's in public health. I originally wanted to do community outreach as my career, and my uncle owns, or used to own, Broad River Insurance, and I became an agent because I needed a job, and that's how I ended up being a health insurance agent, and couldn't imagine doing anything different now for my career.
As you mentioned, that what brought you to the community, obviously you needed the job, but were you born here, raised here, or did you live somewhere else? Were you born somewhere else, and what do you enjoy most about living and working here?
Yeah, so I am from Greensboro, North Carolina, the Triad area, and I came to Western North Carolina when I went to college. I went to Western Carolina University, and I loved this area so much. I knew that I wanted to live here. Eventually, I did move away for 2 years to go to grad school for my master's in public health out in Colorado in Fort Collins. And immediately after I graduated, my husband and I moved back to Asheville area. We now live in Canton. So I live in Canton, I work in Brevard, I do all my eating out in Asheville, shopping in Asheville, and really enjoy being in this area. And I just love the mountains, the activities you can do in the mountains, and just the fresh air and the community here.
That's great. I also love the community here. I've been here 27 years. So, still mountains call me home, yes. And everything about Asheville is just, I think, is great. So, since our topic is health insurance, and, it can be very confusing. So, what are some of the biggest misconceptions that people have, and what tips do you have for choosing the right plan?
Yes, that's a great question. So, I'm going to start with some Medicare misconceptions. A lot of people have the misconception of what's called an HMO network. So a lot of people think, oh, if I'm on a Medicare Advantage plan that has co-payments on it, that they tell you who to go to what doctor, and you can't choose your doctors. That's absolutely not true. You can go to the doctors that you want to go as long as they are in the network. And the big companies such as Blue Cross Blue Shield, Humana, United, Aetna, they all have really big networks, and most of the hospital systems in North Carolina are going to be in those networks, as well as the doctors that are associated with those hospital systems. So you can go to the doctors that you want to. The other misconception is that once you get on a plan with Medicare, you can't ever change. That is also not true. You do have the ability to change back and forth between different Medicare Advantage plans. You can go from Blue Cross to Humana, Humana to United, vice versa, without health questions asked. That is a very big misconception. Blue Cross also has what's called a blue to blue rule. So you can move from a Medicare Advantage plan to a Medicare supplement, vice versa, without health questions asked. So the only times of the year you can change is during open enrollment, which is October 15th to December 7th, or January 1st through March 31st for those that are enrolled in Medicare Advantage. The Medicare system, a lot of people think that it is only for people who are 65. That's also not true. Those that are on disability and have been on disability for 24 months they also will qualify for Medicare even if they're not 65 yet. So those are some misconceptions about Medicare. Some misconceptions about health insurance in general is that, one, if you are self-employed, you have to provide your own business health insurance plan through an employer plan. That's not true. You could have a plan through the health insurance marketplace. Health insurance marketplace is for individuals and families, particularly those self-employed, and it will depend on, the premium will be based on your age, your zip code, how many people are in your household on taxes, and also your income. So that also, some people will think that they don't qualify, and then they find out they do.
That's great. Thank you so much for clarifying and even giving the dates when people can,
Yes.
enroll into the plans. So what types of insurance plans do you offer at the at your company, and who benefits most from those?
So, like I said earlier about the big companies, we do represent Humana, United Healthcare, Blue Cross, Aetna, and we represent different states. So North Carolina and South Carolina are the two states that I particularly write for. We have some agents that can do Virginia and Tennessee too, and Georgia. So we are not just Western North Carolina, we are across North Carolina and moving into some of these other states as well. And we offer Medicare health insurance for individuals and families under 65. We also offer dental and vision, and then also employer plans. So for someone like a real estate company, if they want to offer health insurance to their employees, we do that too. We have a parent company called M&D Financial, and they do financial planning. So that's not my area expertise, but we do have someone that I can refer that to with our company.
That's great. A question kind of piggyback on what you just said. As a real estate firm, a lot of the agents that are in the firm with me, they're actually 1099 and not W-2. Can they still be considered under the same umbrella for the insurance or not?
Regarding an employer plan?
Regarding an employer plan.
Okay, so if someone is looking into an employer plan, then you would offer insurance for full-time eligible. So they would be W-2
Okay.
Employees. But what we can do is come in and do marketplace enrollments. So we do that a lot of times for 1099 employees or in a real estate company. Just for example, we'll sit down, have office hours, and have a schedule where people can come in and see me during open enrollment, and we'll go through plans for everybody and give the options, and that person can pick what works best for them, and it may be very different from someone else's plan. So that's how it would work for 1099 employees.
Yeah, that's great. Thank you so much for clarifying. So, can you share a success story of how you helped a local family or individual with the insurance?
Yes, I can think of a lot success stories, but one that particularly comes to mind I was reminded of yesterday. Actually, I have a client that is moving from an individual health insurance plan through the marketplace to a Medicare plan, and he was very thankful for all the services that I have provided to him with his health insurance, and talked about how I have saved him a lot of money. Originally, before they came to me, they were paying $1,200 a month for their health insurance, and they didn't realize they qualified for a premium tax credit through the health insurance marketplace, and they got to have more enhanced coverage as well through the marketplace. Just didn't realize that they were able to do that. So once I talked to them, I was able to save them about $1,000 a year.
That's great. Savings, of course, are always great, and healthcare is very expensive in the United States.
Absolutely.
I would say probably the most expensive out of anywhere. But it's very progressive and the best. So.
Yes, absolutely. And the other thing too is that a lot of people are not sure the Medicare process when they turn 65, and in this case, it's a nice transition for this client that I helped, that we got him on the right plan for him and his wife, for being under 65 through the marketplace, and now we are just making the easy transition to Medicare, and not everyone has that who doesn't use an agent.
No, that's great. Thank you so much for sharing that. So I'm sure a lot of people have questions about the healthcare insurance and the changes that are happening or could potentially be happening. So is there anything you can give us an insight on?
Yes, so there are always changes every year with health insurance, with Medicare, and so the best thing to do is to just contact us during open enrollment, which is October 15th through December 7th for Medicare, like I mentioned earlier. But for under 65, it is November 1st through December 15th for a January 1st effective date. All changes go into effect January 1 for the calendar year. So the best thing to do is just to contact us at Brevard Insurance and see what the changes are, because unfortunately we don't find out those changes until right at open enrollment, so October 15th or November 1st.
That's great. Thank you. So Broad River Insurance being a local insurance company, and I guess more a boutique service place. So how can you help clients to save money on, or get better coverage in comparison to the larger firms, like, I don't know, I can't think of anything like Aflac maybe?
So a lot of times agents kind of just help you pick a plan. They don't necessarily help you with claims and help you figure out what plan works best for you. And when it's time to change, maybe you need to change to a different plan because there's something better out there for you the following year. Like I said earlier, that changes happen every year during open enrollment. So one thing about us is that when we have clients, we stick with those clients. We follow up with them. We don't leave them in the dark about things. We just keep going, and we're always there for our clients, whether it's needing to make an income change for the health insurance marketplace, or if we need to work on some claims, then we are absolutely there to help. And I think that's what sets us apart from other insurance agencies, is that a lot of times some agents will just write the policy and are not always available. We do our best to get out in the field and go to events with our community members. I've gone to some Centerwell block parties and have had fun with the Medicare clients. So we're just out there and giving back to our community as well, which is what we think is important. In Brevard recently, we did a Miles for Meals community event. So I think that sets us apart in regards of being there for the families and individuals and Medicare clients. And it might be something that I would say, hey, you don't need this super enhanced expensive policy because you're a healthy individual. You may not need that. So it's not always about spending the most money.
That makes sense. Totally. So, I'm sure you're not working 24/7. So when you are actually off and not with the clients, what do you enjoy doing?
Well, I have a 1-year-old daughter that keeps me very occupied right now. So we are trying to get out and let her see the world. And, we go to the park and walk around, and we go to Whole Foods to shop and go to Target. We like to go out and hike, and we like to go to the beach, my husband and I, and our daughter and my dog. We have a very feisty Bernese Mountain Dog that also keeps us busy. I like to read. I like to do yoga and cook. So yeah, I just spend my time in Western North Carolina and doing Western North Carolina things. And everyone who's from here knows what I'm talking about. Hiking, eating at good restaurants in Asheville, going to local shops downtown, and supporting local businesses, of course.
Of course, that's been a huge thing for us since Haleen happened, that we actually, if we go out to eat, I was like, okay, let's go somewhere where we haven't tried, first of all, and then second is like, okay, they were hit, let's go there. And,
absolutely.
And support places
absolutely.
in those locations. So any favorite local spots or hidden gems that you would like for the world to know?
One of my favorite breakfast places in Asheville is Cornerstone. It is right off of Tunnel Road on the corner as you come off the highway. My husband and I love that place for breakfast. one of my favorite lunch or dinner spots. I really like a good Philly cheesesteak sandwich, and I love Apollo Flame. They have the best sandwiches. So those are kind of two of my favorite Asheville restaurants. I like there's some shops that I really like downtown. There is some coffee shops. I can't think of it off the top of my head, but there's one on a corner in downtown that I really like. And there is also a great restaurant that I've been to called 9 Mile, and I know they have two or three locations in Asheville, and they serve Caribbean food, and I really like the one in Biltmore Park. That's where I've been to.
It's great. I'm actually going there today, but on Hayward Road, so I might report at some point and put the little things what I got there. But
Yeah.
I've been there one time and I really enjoyed the food, and just the atmosphere is really
Yeah,
nice,
it's really cool.
you know. So that's great. So going back to the insurance, what's one piece of advice you would give someone reviewing their insurance for the first time?
Yeah, so as an agent, we take certifications every single year. So we are constantly updated on the changes for Medicare and for individual policies. So for someone who's renewing their health insurance, my best advice is to be open to change, and just know that if you're paying a premium, it probably will not be the same. It might go up. It could go down too, and that's always great when it goes down. The other thing with Medicare is that co-payments change a lot on Medicare Advantage, and premiums for Medigap plans tend to go up as you get older. That's just how the system is designed. So just be open about those changes, and know that as an agent, if we're suggest new plans, it's because we know that there might be something better for you that is out there right now, and that's going to be a new plan.
Thank you so much. Let's see, what else can I ask you? As a business owner, you know, what do you love being about in the business community here in Western North Carolina?
So I actually don't own the business. I am an agent under a parent company,
Right.
but I do love being part of the local community, particularly in Transylvania County, Henderson County, excuse me, and also in Buncombe County. I like that I can refer businesses for home insurance and auto insurance, because those are insurance things that I don't do. So I don't have a license to do those things. I only have a health insurance and Medicare license. So I like to be able to refer business to them, and they can refer to me. Same with real estate. You know, I like to refer business for that. And I think just being part of a community like Western North Carolina, that we're able to find a fit of what your referral is. So I'm going to give a shout out to the Jungle Agency. They are a home and auto insurance agency that refers me business, and I love to refer business to them too.
That's great. That's great. The creating relationships, and we've met at the networking
Yes.
group, so which is kind of neat. And networking has been huge for me.
Yes.
Because you know, to grow business and visibility, and even as an individual, even if I didn't own, I think I find a lot of value in
Yes.
that. So I appreciate you coming and actually
Thank
sharing
you.
a lot of information. And if anybody wants to contact Morgan, please, you know, reach out. We have all of her contact below in the comments. Ask questions, because your question might be the same question as somebody else. And if you
Yes.
put it publicly and she answers, that would help somebody else. So thank you again for watching this segment of Meet Your Neighbor, and we'll see you next time.